didn't think this needed to be said, but I guess I have to say it. Don't go into this movie theater expecting this movie to be the same level as Alien or Aliens. Like, those are two, like, masterpieces in filmmaking and in film history. So, just don't do that. Because if you go in that level of high expectations, you're probably going to walk out a little disappointed. But, this is a movie. Alien Romulus stars Cailee Spaeny and is about while scavenging the deep ends of a space station, a group of young space colonizers come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe. From director Fede Alvarez, the man that brought you Evil Dead 2013 and Don't Breathe, comes the brand new Alien film, Alien Romulus. Listen, just like many, I was very anticipated for this film. This movie, like, as soon as I heard the words, Fede Alvarez is directing an Alien film, that's all I needed to hear. And then the first teaser came out, and I was like, damn, that looks so good. I cannot wait to see it. And then I went to see it today, and I walked out of the theater, and I cannot lie to you guys. I have not felt this way about a movie in a good minute. There are things in this movie I absolutely loved. Like, there are things I'm like, yes. And then there are things in this movie that I'm just like, pump the brakes. I don't know about that, at least for me, because it seems like a lot of people from first reactions are loving this film, and I don't want to be that one guy, but we gotta talk about it, and there will be no spoilers, I promise you, but let's talk about the positives. Fede Alvarez, I mean, I literally was not thinking he was going to be the problem with this movie. He makes a great looking Alien film. I mean, truly, this movie felt like an Alien movie. Now, this movie does take place after Alien, but before Aliens. And so this movie can feel, at times, like a little bit of a sequel for Alien. And there's stuff from Prometheus in this movie that I was like, that's interesting they went this route with this movie. So, like, I do think general audiences who have not seen any Alien film or Prometheus or whatever, I feel like you could watch this movie and get the nature of it, because you're getting your young cast who are like, hey, we want the hell out of this planet. We want to move on. Let's go to this space station, find what we can get, and get out of here. Well, unfortunately, they run into an alien, and so then stuff kicks off. And Fede Alvarez, man, I mean, I have, seriously, like, there's frames in this movie. It looks so beautiful. The cinematography, it's so good, and it really does feel like that first Alien film. Just the tension that he has already proven in Don't Breathe and with Evil Dead, he brings that in this movie, and when there's blood moments, there's blood moments. Now, don't go in expecting Evil Dead blood. I wouldn't say it's that bloody, but there are some good blood effects, and I swear to you, 89% of this movie is practical. The sets, the xenomorphs themselves, I was in awe. Seriously, there are times I was like, is that CGI? Is that a CGI shot? And I don't know. The practical effects in this movie it's so heartwarming. It's so cool to see, and just seeing the sets and the atmosphere and just the dripping sweat of the color of this movie. It just feels like an Alien movie. Like, it totally, like, you ever played the game Alien Isolation? That's what this movie is. From that game, that tension-filled game, put that in this movie with Fede Alvarez directing. That is what I wanted, and there's so much in this movie that I was in love with, guys. Like, I'm loving it. You also have Cailee Spaeny as our main lead. She is awesome in this movie. These franchises does a really good job with female leads. And you also have her brother, David Jonsson, in this movie. I don't feel like I recognize him for anything else. Either way, he's about to be recognized because, damn, he almost stole this movie. He's really good in this movie. He is really good, and his character is very interesting. And honestly, besides those two, the rest of the cast is kind of like, you're there to get killed pretty much for xenomorphs, and they're still a fun cast. There's definitely characters you're like, okay, you're gonna die and you deserve it. Then there's characters you're like, okay, you're gonna die, but I hope you live, but you're gonna die. But then you have our two main leads. Those two, the brother-sister dynamic, those are the ones like you really care for. And again, the rest of the cast I had fun with. Like, I did think they proved that, like, they're all capable actors. They did a good job. But in the end, their actual like development of like following them, I was like, you're gonna get killed, basically. And when it happens, again, it's just, there's so much tension. There's so many good scenes. There's a scene with zero gravity involving xenomorph blood. That was awesome. That was awesome. There's a scene with a character under something and an alien above her. So filled with tension. And then there's scenes where like people are stuck behind walls and they can see each other and they can see something right behind them. It's like Fede Alvarez knew what he was doing, bringing the tension to this movie, and I was so in for it. But, like I said, I walked out of this movie saying there are things I freaking loved, and then there are things that I'm just not a fan of, and the number one thing is, I watched this movie, and the thing I can only compare it to is Force Awakens. Force Awakens had a lot of good and a lot of new nuance to it, but it was A New Hope. This movie feels like a lot of the Alien movies put in for this story. And I watch it, and I'm like, okay, there's nothing wrong with nostalgia. Right now, that's all Marvel has, is nostalgia. This movie has it, but there is points in this movie where they are literally looking at the camera, winking to you, and saying lines of dialogue from the other movies. And I was like, no. Because watching it, I'm like, okay, I get it. But in the scene, I was like, you didn't need that line. You could have said something differently, but they said that line because it was in the other movies. And they're like, hey, fans, wink, wink. And again, it's weird because, like, delivering to the fans is what you want. And there are moments I'm like, that's what I want. But then watching this story play out and how they connect to the first movie, and a certain thing that involves CGI that I did not like. And I was like, no, I do not like that at all. And I sat there and I was like, I get what they're doing. And I get a lot of these movies nowadays, a lot of just sequels made from movies a long time ago, they do that. And it's the biggest issue, and this movie is the definition of that. It's the Force Awakens issue for me. It felt like the other Alien movies. But it's good because it's so well directed and so well made and so well acted that, like, I was enjoying the experience. But I cannot lie to you, the last 15 minutes, I love they tried something different. I didn't like it. I'm sorry. It's batshit crazy. Don't get me wrong. When you see it, you'll know. Because it is like an Alien movie to where it like takes an hour for anything to get going. And you know how Alien 1 and 2, they have like an ending? But they're like, oh wait, we have a second ending. Same thing here. Which again, they're doing what Alien does. They're doing the same formula. This ending, the last 15 minutes, it's going to piss people off. I can see it. I can really see people be like, that was stupid. And there's going to be some people who are like, they took a huge risk and it worked for me. That is so cool that it worked for you. For me, it did not. And in the end, I walk away saying, am I disappointed? I'm disappointed in the movie, but I'm not disappointed for what I was excited for, which was Fede Alvarez directing an Alien movie. That nailed this movie, seriously. And I would watch it again, even with the issues, because this movie is so reliant on just, like, the fandom of Alien all in this movie, and it almost feel like the producers of this movie were like, we need Alien fans to love this because we want to deliver to the Alien fans. That's it. Give me something different. Try something. Try just anything, but you can still make an Alien movie. We've seen it done in other movies, and this one was just not that for me. I'm going to give Alien Romulus a B-. I'm going to have to say anything about this one, but I want to know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below and let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed this movie review, and I'll see you guys on the next one.